Hi, I'm Jeff Groh in San Diego, and this is your tips. Hi, I'm Jeff Groh in San Diego, California, and these are your tips for your total gym 20-minute lunchtime workout. We start with the cardio pool, nice high level. We bring the glide board up, have a seat towards the bottom. You want to have your handles back as you bring your feet up onto the squat stand. Really easy exercise here. The key is to get your knees at about 90 degrees with your arms extended overhead. Sometimes you have to shift your weight up or down the glide board to make sure that's in that good alignment. So what we're going to do is press and pull at the same time. So I'm going to go through these a little bit quicker. As you get warmed up, you can keep a nice tempo. The knees track over the feet. You can work different grips, different elbow motions, just to open up the shoulders back and forth. And feel free to progress into a single leg variation, still keeping that knee trapping over the foot, back and forth, nice and smooth. And as you get warmed up in your second and third minute, you can add a little hop, just really keeping things very ninja-like, slow and controlled, but you still want to feel explosive. So after you get done with your warm-up with the cardio pool, you're just going to sit up nice and tall, bring the glide board all the way to the bottom. We don't need the pulleys for this exercise. Tap the cable there. And what we're going to do is sit up nice and tall with our feet down in between the rails. So this high incline, people like me with the tighter hamstrings, allows me to be in a nice upright posture. So to warm up the core together with the obliques and the pectoral muscles, we're going to start with an upright posture, arms out, palms up, hinging back, coming back to center. So this is just helping to turn on some of those oblique muscles and activate all the core really in the front side. And make sure you breathe during these and that you keep things on. You don't want to just hinge back or round your back. So a nice hinge, good strong return. After you're done with your tall sits, we're going to move right into a plank series. So you're going to face the tower, bring the glide board up just a hair so that you can bring your knees towards the bottom of the board. Feet are in between the rails on the floor. Your hands should be right about the middle of the glide board. And if you prefer, you can do these on your elbows. What we're going to do is basically just kind of bring the knees up. If you want to start first by finding that neutral position through the shoulders and the pelvis, the spine, find a good middle ground, bring the knees up and hold. So what you're going to do is come up nice and tall, trunk stays stable. It's all we're doing is hinging at the hips and knees and making this more of a dynamic plank. So after you go through your repetitions, you can come out and hold for 35, 40, 60 seconds, breathe. And in the advanced, you can add a little triceps push-up here in between. Good. Slowly return after your set. Bring the glide board down all the way to the bottom. And we're going to move into the next series of exercises. So those can be done at the high incline. Bring this down to a lower incline or mid-level incline for the second series. Remember to refer to the written component to give you some of the times and the repetitions. Most important is having that 45 to 60 seconds of time under tension for each muscle group. So we'll start the next series with the surfer pull. This can be done seated or kneeling. I'll show you kneeling. We anchor in, hinge back, and you want to be able to stretch forward. If the board bottoms out, just move your knees on the board a bit. Start by pulling the shoulder blades back down the back of the body, pressing through and coming up. Try to get into a nice flowing motion. But you want to feel the resistance in both directions. So we don't just let go. We control the return. Good. Now as you come up to the tall point, if that gets too tough, when you come back for the row, you can also come into a row. A little bit easier there. And feel free to sneak in some arm curls or reverse flies while you're there. Just a little variation always helps. So we anchor down for the next series. We go into chest press. So we just turn around, face the opposite direction. Cables are on the inside. I like to keep my legs straddled here, get a little shortness in the hamstrings. If you can bring your legs up and maintain an upright posture, perfect. Otherwise, keep hinging here. Keep your elbows out about 45 degrees. Press through the shoulders and return. You have to taper the angle down. You want to get the incline where you get that fatigue level in that 45 to 60 seconds. Breathe. And for you advanced folks, you can come out to a fly. So you always start from the top, come out, control. You want to feel nice and compact in the front of the body like a V here. So then we bring these down. Again, you get through your full set. Detach the cable. going to take off the entire squat stand platform for the next exercise. Let's bring it off to the side there, and we'll work on our reverse lunges. So you can always use a chair, have something around that you can balance with, but you're going to start with one leg on the floor. This is the leg that's working. The leg that's on the glide board is just going along for a ride. We went all the weight in this front heel. So as you come down, you get good alignment, the knee right over the foot, and just start with a nice up and down motion. Now the lower the incline, the more difficult this is to return. This higher incline is going to give me a little more stretch in my front right hip. So go through the whole variation. If you want to add some rotations towards that lead leg, help fire up that glute, more power to you. At the very end, you can drop that knee down and just press back into a nice hip flexor stretch on that right side. You can add things like arm drivers. Breathe and just lengthen. Stay there for a good 45 seconds. And then to finish off, what we're going to do is go inverted. So that's going to be a little decompression for the joints, just like an inversion board. Again, you choose your what level. Sometimes the mid-level is nice, sometimes the high level is nice, and the low level is good too. So we bring our feet up through the foot holders. You're going to lie back, make sure your hips are towards the top. And we're going to add a little crunch in here, but we're going to keep the hamstrings on and hip flexors off. So we point the toes away from the body, keep the hamstrings on, and you can work either a small abdominal flexion here, really working on that pelvic floor contraction, a little bit of a draw in, just a light one, like 20% effort, or you can place the hands behind the head, but we're not pulling on the head. When you're done with this, just sit back, relax, and let the joints decompress. You want to stay here for a good 2 minutes or so, let everything relax, and just work on your breathing in through the belly, out through the mouth. Just breathe and relax, arms can go overhead. You want to just let those joints decompress. Coming back up, take your time, make sure you have the foot holder. And if you have enough time, feel free to repeat that series. Otherwise, go get yourself a healthy lunch and feed those hungry muscles. See you next time.